So let's start with the presentation of the product. What you see is the UI client, and the UI client in the beginning is just the emulation, but the emulation you see here is of course the fallback of the fallback. This is not a modernization, even if it runs in the browser, but it looks and behaves like a usual emulator. It's still an emulator, but just running in a browser. So this is not what we want to do. And the next question is, we are not here to modernize one screen or 10 screens or even 100 screens. This product was made to modernize a few thousand screens in one shot, in one project, by building a model. And the model is new interpreting your existing screens. For this, we are going to switch on, activate the advanced on-the-fly capability of the system. And if I press enter, so the design of the menu you have already seen changed dramatically. We can click on info to see before and after. So what we have done, we have changed the look, of course, but we have changed the feel as well. So we changed the paradigm of using the screen. There is a common paradigm worldwide. So that means if you need to explain somebody how to use your user interface, you are completely on the wrong way. User expects to have as a menu tiles like this. User expects to have a toolbar, just clicking instead of pressing. And as long as you have to explain to your users how to press F15 or F16, you are still wrong. You will have problems to motivate the user to use your system. So why does the menu looks like this? From 1 second to the other. We have done it with our advanced on the fly. So advanced on the fly is a model, and that model is in first step identifying what your screen wants to deliver, what your screen wants to be. So this is a quite difficult thing. I do not explain today. But the system identifies the screen wants to be a menu, or the screen wants to be a detail form, or the screen wants to be a subfile. These are the three main technologies we need to modernize. In that case, the system identified this screen wants to be a menu. So that's why we are going to modernize the header. And now, from now, the header looks like this. We are modernizing the F keys, and now the F keys are all in a toolbar. And of course, the options of the menu, the choices, are tiles from now. Why does the tiles look like this? Why does the tile not look like the same always? For this, I'm gonna show you a little file, a little source file in our IDE. So this is C# script. It's very easy to handle. We have very helpful things like code helpers. If I write tile dot, and you see now you can choose all the things the system is able to run. And if there is something wrong in the source code, you immediately get the error message, and you can handle it by yourself. You see it's underlined, and you find it here. And if you have a correct source, the error message disappears, and you can continue. What you see here is you can decide what happens with every coming tile. So that means if we run the debugger, we can have a look on the things. Come on, that happens. So we stop now, and we get the tile itself, and we get the item, and the item we have the option, and we have the text. So, and from this, we can decide if the item option is 90, we use the sign off image and set the back color to red. If the text contains menu, we do something else, user, customer, print, etc., etc. You can do your own thing, and it works for every screen, even in the world. So that means the same rule set runs, of course, with the system menu as well. So we go to the system menu, office task. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's the original one. IBM I access tasks and so on. The same we are going to do to the detail forms. If we go to a system operating system detail form, now it looks like this immediately without any extra effort. So I'm gonna show you how we do it by using our little demo applications. First of all, we go to this very poor, boring dialog. So we just have one input field. We can input the customer ID, and we choose an action, update, add, or delete. We have a new design, but we do not have any help from the UI. So we have to know the customer ID, and we have to type manually the action inside. So it's very easy to make that better. I split the screens so you can see what happens when I do it. I need the edit builder. And in Edit Builder, let me resize this. In Edit Builder, we do have deactivated code. So the things we do are related to, oh, I have to stop debugging first, sorry. So now we activate this code, and if we find a construction like this, character equals description, character equals description, and so on and so on, we decide to split that construction into parts and create a lookup with a text from it. So create lookup with text is a part of the default procedures of the system. These default procedures are open source. You can read them to learn. You can copy to your customization of the system and change it, or duplicate and do something else, maybe with another character to separate the parts. To activate this part, we do not need to compile, to deliver and run to the correct position in our system. We just click apply. So you see here, now the system is compiling now and applying immediately to the repository, and see what happened. We still have the construction, but this is just for describing. And from now, we have a lookup field. Not just on this screen, but on every screen in the world, we do have a lookup field in case we find a construction like this you see in the trailing label of the input field. So let's take a choice, update. So how to find the customer number? Usually I know you have a F4 key and you have you get a pop-up with a subfile and something like this. But from now, it's much easier to do that. We have a register global F4 text. You just need to register the content of the leading label, cast.no. So in case in leading label we find cast.no, we like to select something from our IBM I database and read the content of the cast ID and put that content into the input field and send an enter thereafter immediately. So we activate this code, click on apply, waiting for a few seconds, and immediately we can test that functionality by clicking on that button. You see here, you get a very nice window. You can do your own things with the columns, whatever. You can search text in every column, you see, and then it looks like this. You can search text in over here, maybe contains, does not contain, is like, begins with, and etc., etc. Or just click select on one record, press OK, and immediately the application runs to the next screen. So in next screen, you see some very exciting more things. I already explained to you, if we find a construction, character equals description, and so on, we get from now our lookup combo. That's nice. But if we find in leading label y/n, something like this, and we have exactly two choices, we get a toggle switch. If you like to have a checkbox, you can make a checkbox from it. So we use the content of the leading label and the content of the trailing label to modernize our screen. But we do some more. We have content related modernization as well. So that means if we find a valid datetime like this, let's have a check over here. You see, this is a German formatted but valid datetime. So that valid datetime means from now we have a calendar in every input field in the world. We have a calendar from now if there is a valid datetime inside. Also, we can set a calendar in case in a leading label we find content like birthday or date or begin or whatever. Same with the phone. If you find a valid phone number, you automatically get another control with a button. And if you have a TAPI enabled on your computer, you start a call immediately without any extra effort on every screen on the world. Same with a valid email address, and same with a valid website. Just click on it from now and the system navigates you to that certain website. So let's go back to see some more about the system. We created our model, so we are able to have every screen in another look and feel. Even you remember system screens as well. So that means no matter what programming language is behind, we can modernize every screen you like. So these are the screens of the operating system, and we go to maybe copy PC to documents. And you see here we find a construction yes, no. So we have got a toggle switch. If you find library, you can see it over there. This is just this. If you find library or Bibliothek, this is the German one. Maybe we can add some more if we like. We automatically get functionality based on that SQL statement. And if we click on it, we can choose our library. So easy and very nice with one effort. So what does it mean? It means we modernize every screen we have in one project. Usually it takes maybe 20 man days, up to 30 man days. So it's a very nice little effort to do that. But we do not modernize the screens we already have. We modernize the screens we are going to create in a year as well. So as long as the screen fulfills that rule, so automatically we're gonna get a lookup or a lookup based on that database access. So that means our customers do work in RPG, creating new screens with the correct rules, and immediately are able to test the result in the iNow UI client. So before we move forward, I like to show you one very amazing thing. I go to a web browser, and you see this is the same UI modernization in a web browser. The good news is it runs in every web browser in same quality, and I talk about desktop quality. So, and it's much more secure, and it's very very reliable, and it really runs in every web browser. So usually if you base your modernization on something like JavaScript or HTML5 stuff, you will see very fast, and you will be quite disappointed because in every browser it looks and behaves different. So, but this is not what we do. Next thing is we modernized our screens. So, and we are able to enrich the screens by doing by interpreting the rules. Sorry, sometimes I need to find a good English word for the things running through my head in German. So I give you another example. What we want is every time we find in one of the leading labels the cast.no, and it's a protected field. So in that case, we do not need to look up because the field is protected. But we like to publish more information about the customer. So if we go to our developers environment and go to the label builder, and this little sample means, as Nick already told you, we have very powerful, strong controls. One of the controls is the flex document view. Flex document view can get connected to every document management system in the world. And here we are going to create, and we just set the value so the system knows what to find. And of course, we can publish a picture as well. And we set the bounds of the picture, and we set the value again. And this is the entire effort to click on apply to publish two things immediately. So we see the picture related to the customer ID plus the documents related to the customer ID. On every screen, that combination appears. So, and if we double click, we can see the document over here. Very easy to handle. You can even the animation you can see in web browsers as well. And you can take that tab and you can connect it or just move it to another screen if you have more than one screen on your desk. From now, you can use them. From now, it makes sense to have them. So there's one thing more.